Hi guys, it's me Karen, and I've come to do a picture in the Ink House by Rory Dobner. And as you all know, I'm trying to finish this book. So I'm going to be doing this page here. Kind of just doing a doodling today, so just thought I would try to do some work on this page. I don't know if I'll get this all done in one video. Probably will be a couple. So we have a little nap time here. Many hours have passed in the chaos in the house until the night falls. And after Mary Shelley, who is on the other page over here, has slowly but surely done all her last rounds, and Reggie, and if you all remember who Reggie is, he has packed away his guitar, and the animals are now reluctantly curled up and taking their naps in bed. So we're going to go ahead and work on this page. I'm going to bring the camera down a little bit, and we will at least get the trees, the curtains, and probably the floor done. Something in that line. It'll probably be a couple of parts in this video. So I will get to work. Okay, so we have our little plastic cutting mat from the dollar store. Yeah, they come in big sheets, but I cut them down. Some of them, it comes in a package of 2, and I use the biggest parts to go behind pages in some of my books. This particular book, the pages are so thick I don't need to worry about it with the amount of water I use, so I don't put one behind here. But in some of my other books, the papers are thinner and need a page protector. If I'm using pencils and pushing too hard, the ink will transfer to the other page, blah blah blah. Anyway, so with the leftover pieces, I use them as my palette pieces. So there's a really shiny side and a smooth side. I did get asked questions about washing these, because I use Inktense on them and I scribble them down. And if you can tell on the reverse side, see there is some residue left on the sheet. It's on this side, but it's washed off enough to where it's just stained the plastic, so I can use a color on top of it. It's no big deal on that. So we'll just be using it. And I brought out some colors. One, I'm going to use the 2 colors I get out to use a beige color, and I want to kind of put a beige tone on the little valance up here, and probably do the intricate work here in wood tone. I don't want too much wood tone because we have the branches coming through, and I don't want it blurring together, but I want to get some of the beige in here. And I'm going to have the walls in this room painted beige, along with the sunken parts of the roof. The beams here are going to have some woodwork done on them, and of course, like the frames I did in the last picture, we'll probably use some post-it notes on those also. But right now we're just going to add some of this Sicilian Yellow and white, and we'll put a lot of the white down just to make a beige color. In this book, I've always used my Pentel water brush, so I'm going to use it. So just add those 2 together. A lot of white, the yellow down, and we're going to put a little tan in that also. If I can find some brown. What do we got? Tan. So I'll just take a little tan on this side, and we'll bring it all in. And I'll probably have to mix this a couple times. Okay. Now we're going to use that just to lay down on here. Okay, we're going to throw a little more white in it, just so the walls don't look the exact same color. And then we will do the ceiling up here. I think that's a piece of wood. Well, it'll have a little shadow in it. Okay, and then down on the walls in here. Just to get some color on them. Okay, these raised pieces are going to be wood, and I'm not sure about the back pieces here, but these I believe are wood, so I'm going to go ahead and put some of this cream color on this portion. And then on this portion up here. Okay, and it's probably the same on the other side. I think this is a door. It has a keyhole on there, so we're gonna do the bits up on the top up here. And it's a little bit there. Okay. Darken up some of these areas, kind of give it a little more of a shadowed look under the branches and next to the wood. There. And there's a portion up here on that roof. Okay. Now that we have our base color down, I guess we can make the door the same color. There we go. I don't know if that went through another page. That we'll have to look at that later. Okay, so we have that color, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and work on the trees. So I'm bringing in some saddle brown and just kind of putting it on the shadowest, darkest spots on these branches. And get them all with some of that color. We're going to go in with some Willow. I will be putting all these down in the description box. Sorry, my kitty cat's in here now using his scratching post instead of my leg. He wants attention. And we have tan in here. And that's a little lighter, and we'll just put it in the lighter areas. Okay, and we'll go ahead and darken or wet this activated and make our trees come to life here. We'll probably have to do this in a couple of coats. And we'll do some touch-ups with pencils also. Getting those tiny little spots that I can't get to. Okay, for right now, we'll let those dry. Okay, we're gonna work on the curtains, and I'm gonna do blue curtains on this page. And I'm not quite sure what colors to use. I got out the bright blue, navy blue, and a deep blue, and we're going to put them on the palette over here and see which ones I like. I just know I want it blue. Okay, I have those 3 colors down, and then I will wet them up and see which one I want to use. Darkest and kind of bright, and I don't know if I want to do bright, so we'll go with this one here and get it kind of wet and lay that down. Laying it down in the darkest spots first and then bringing it down into the light. And you'll get a nice variegation of color there. Don't want it too much in the tree, but add some of that darker blue right underneath that vellus up there and down in the folds down here. And then the same under here. Try not to get too much on our piece of fruit. I'm quite sure what that is. At first glance it looks like a pumpkin, but those are the wrong leaves. So apple. This will dry lighter than when I put it down, so you can always go a little darker when you're first starting it Now the other side of the curtain. Okay, bottom half. And then go in with the darkest. When I use the pencil, I'll go in with an indigo blue where the dark is. You can see up there, so let's get that down. Okay, that's good for that right now. It's got to dry. We're also going to do these little leaves down here, and those are going to be done in kind of fall colors. We have an apple, we're taking a nap. I'm gonna put some color down on the, I need a green too, I didn't get out of green. Not this one. Beech Green. I'm just going to mix the green in here with the orangey color that I put down. Just touch some of that in the leaves. Then we're going to bring in some burnt orange in that. And then we bring in some red. And then we'll touch in some brown too. Make that a fall leaf. bring a little bit more of that green in there. Just to get all those colors mixed in real good. Then we have some foliage. And it'll look nice on the wood floor when we get down to the wood floor. And while we're here, we will tackle this. I'm going to make it an apple. So we're going to go in with some red. We have a little bug reading his newspaper there. Got to be a little careful. Tiny bit of some orange in that. A little of the yellow for a highlight. And then green for the leaves. Okay. We're going to do brown cords here, so the three colors that I used before, saddle, willow, and tan. I'm going to go in with the tan first. Then we'll pick up some of the saddle brown and just kind of run it down the bottom here, in the back on the back rope, and on the bottom knot, and some willow down here into the tassel part. Probably throw some yellow in there too. Okay, we do have a ruffle down here on the bottom of the bed. So we have a very fluffy mattress. I would assume this is the box spring and the ruffle. And I'm going to do that kind of in that cream color that I have over here. So we're just going to re-wet this. And just kind of touch it. It's going to be lighter than up above. And we're going to put it down here in the ruffles. A little darkness down on the sides just to give it some shadow. And then right across here, just get a little extra there. Okay, and we have to let that dry. Gonna do the little table here. We know that's made out of wood. So I'm gonna take the 3 colors again. It's the saddle brown, the willow, and the tan, and we're going to make a tabletop here. So I'm gonna go with the saddle brown and put it in the darkest areas. And little apple guy is on a plate. Don't want to get it brown. Gonna throw a little tan in that now. On the corners, it'll be a little more yellow than in the background. On the arch of the legs, it'll be a little more yellow, so we're going to put that on there. And then go back in with the saddle brown. Make this back leg darker than the front legs. I'm getting it on the curtain, but that's okay. You'll notice I point out more of my mistakes than you probably see. Or you see them all and I just hope you don't. Either way. A little more of that. Darker on this side, light. And there we have a tail. The candle we can do in this whitish cream color we made on the drips. The candle holder, if we take a little of that tan and a little of this yellowish color, we can kind of make a brassy color going up, and add a little brown into that. We'll add a little gray in there when I get to the gray, and we'll make the plate kind of a different color. So we'll get out the gray now since I am talking about it. It's Payne's gray. Throw some of that down here. Add some water. And pick that up as like a shadow. and the plate. And the knife handle. Okay. Let's see. The floor is going to be done like I did in the last floor, so we can put down a base. I'm going to just mix all three of these colors together. So we have a nice wash we can put down. Just pick some areas where you want the lightest pieces. Then we're going to go in and use darker colors on this. Try to keep all the lines going with the wood grain. And just move across the floor. Just dragging it down and off the page. And if I go over the leaves, that's fine. The brown in there is not going to hurt them. Like I said, this is just a base on it. It'll have to dry, and then I'll go in with the pencils and add the different strokes in there. But that gives us our gist of our floor. You do want it darkest where all the shadowing is. Bring that up on the door there. I'm just using the last of the bit that's on the palette here to touch up any of the white areas I missed. Okay, I'll let that dry too. And let's see if we can't do some work up here on the valance. So we're just going to go straight in with the pencils. And we're going to put in a little bit of the saddle brown first. And then we'll go in with that. Just that color and activate it. definitely go over that branch. It is brown. Okay, we'll let that dry too. You'll notice it's really close to the color of the branches, so I have to be a little bit careful on that. That's Payne's gray, we don't want to use that. The saddle brown. Okay, we're going to go up on the top up here. And we're just gonna do that lightly. Get some water going on this brush. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna let that sit and dry. These panels need to be done in wood too, so this is gonna get interesting. So we have a doodle bunny and a fox. Cream in the tail, then it comes up and it's a reddish to a dark brown. So the reddish one is the Willow. We'll be having that back in here on the palette. We'll need to add more white to make the cream for his tail. We'll throw in a little tan on that, just a little bit. And we'll need some dark brown, so I have some of that gray left. And we'll throw in the saddle brown next to it, so we can make a dark brown for the tips of his ears. So here we go. Tail first. So tan and a lot of white. Just fill in the tip of his tail. So we have a nice color there. Bring it right into his fur. And we'll add a little bit of it on his face here, in his ears. There we go. Okay. We're going to take the Willow and kind of mix it in with the tan and start going up his fur. Nice and dark on the underside of him. And in the shadow areas here. Trying not to get the bunny. I'm not sure what color I want to do the bunny yet, but he'll probably be gray. A little bit lighter up there. Okay, probably darken him up a little bit. This is the saddle brown. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice again. And we're going to add a little of the gray in there just to get it nice and dark in these shadowed areas. And up on the tip of his ears. Okay, it definitely has to dry. So we will be back in a little bit. Okay, instead of painting or putting the ink tents down, I'm going to go ahead and start with the pencil. And I'm going to use my Sargent Art Supreme pencils. This one is brown. And I'm just going to go in and kind of darken up underneath the knots, pulling some down and pulling some up. And I'll use a couple of colors to do this, but I want to get the dark one on the back really dark, and then all these little rope pieces that twist, I want to highlight those. So I'm just laying it down on the bottom and drawing up that line. Same on the knot part here. And now I'm also going to use this on the table and help with the darkest spots on this. Goes on the feet. And just kind of helps define the areas that you want to have show up a little bit more. Okay, so we're just going to finish touching up some stuff here. Might even add a little of this in the candle, just on one side where it was dark, so we can cover up a tiny bit of that darkest gray, but it still shows, so you have still a nice shadow on there. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on this rope over here on this side. So just darkening it and going up the twist parts. I'm darkening this back one pretty dark underneath here and bringing it down and up. I think we'll get some yellow or a yellowish color here. Well, this is tan, and we'll see how, that's bright enough. We'll add some of that in there. But I do want to get some yellow to help that out a little bit. We're also going to go with the tan down here. Bring it across the ruffle. Bring it up on the mattress pad here too. Okay, and then we'll get out a blue for the curtains. Let's see what I have. I have navy blue. We will see how well that works up here. That'll be nice. So darkest in the creases where there's the most shadow, and just bring it up. And of course next to the wall where you're going to have the most shadow. Trying to avoid the tree branches again. I'm not terribly good at that. Bringing it down from the top. And then down under the table. Again, I'm just following the lines that are the heaviest. I'm going to do the same on the other curtains, so I'll just do this side. Bring some of that up. We're going to take a Prisma white, and then we're going to highlight the whiter areas that we want, and also lighten up the dark blue and give us a third color here. And kind of just gives a cool effect, is what it does. So down here on the base. Just kind of like that. And you just play with this until you get the colors you like. If you want a darker blue, just add more blue colors in, because you can go right over that. and put your lines back in or add a little bit more blue. You do want it darkest underneath the wood, so there we go. So I'll just keep playing with that. The other one will be done the same way. We're going to add a little more color to the fox, but we need to get a dark brown. If I had a dark brown in here, I have to check. I have mahogany, light brown, burnt sienna. Don't I have a dark brown? I know I have a brown. So, go into a dark brown. We have a black. We'll take out the burnt sienna and the mahogany and see what we can do. Oh, I'll be finding out when I edit this if you actually could hear anything I said. If not, I'm going to go over it. We were doing all this with a navy blue, shading the curtains in, okay? And then I added the Prisma color to highlight the white areas. Just like that. And if we had any areas that the color went over, just go back in with the navy blue. The mic was not plugged in, so I don't know if you were hearing anything. We're going to work on the little fox, and then I'm going to have to call this part 1, and then we will come back and finish the other portions of this picture in part 2. Hopefully not part 3, but just part 2. So I got a brown out, a burnt sienna, a black, and a mahogany color. We're going to try to darken him up a little bit. So this is just the brown, and I'm kind of going in his fur, just on the edges here. Making sure that his little curls have got some color in them. And then where it's dark, I'm going to add some of this in. Trying again not to get the bunny rabbit, because I want him a different color. But right where it's the darkest, we want to add some depth in there. Because I tried not to get too close to the rabbit. I may need to add some of the coloring in there. Back here, I'll try to stay away from the little fluffs of his fur this time. I want his tail cream. So just get it darker back here. Any areas that we missed, we want to darken it. Okay. Any places that we want really dark, I'm going to sharpen it to the black. Nice sharp point. And just get in here, just darken it around some areas. Just so you can tell those are the darkest spots. We're going to do the same thing on his eye over here. We're going to darken that up a little. And down here on his nose. And the tips of his ears. add in a few more lines. We're going to go in with the brown again. So we're going to go in with burnt sienna. Go over the black so it doesn't look so harsh. And we're going to add that down here on his tail. Okay, and we'll bring in just the brown again and blend that color in. And then we'll get out the tan, just kind of blend it into the tail and the beige part. Just going to go over all those other colors and bring it up into the highlighted spots. That's looking good. Let's darken up his eye just a little bit more. Okay, so we did the table, one side of the curtain. We'll go up here on the wood up here. We'll go in with the brown here, just to darken it. Want the corners nice and dark. We're going to kind of make a line here and a line here, and darken in between here. And do the same on the other side. Now it's kind of dark coming up and then leaving it a little light. On both sides. Doing a little swirl. I'm going with the tan. Need to sharpen that, sorry. Lighten up that area. Okay, because I want that dark, I'm going to be coloring the other side just like that. And the top up here, make it so it doesn't look like the tree. And it's a dark piece of wood. So I can throw a little mahogany in there too, just to give it a redder look. I'm trying to avoid the tree here, but they're both brown, so there. I'm only going to do halfway because you get the gist of that. And we'll kind of blend it over. Then in this beige area, we're going to bring in the tan and just darken up under the tree, probably under here and around in here. Like that. So that's how that'll be done. We have to do, I'm debating whether that's a back curtain and then the headboard. So I'm going to have to think about that if I'm going to do that in blue. The headboard's going to be doing in gray along with the little fluffy mattress they're laying on. And then all the other woodwork and the floor will be done in the next video. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. And I will see you in part 2. So take care. Bye now.